Good morning to everybody that's coming in. I'm here today, y'all. So, okay. I've been waiting on this. Hey, the kid that did. Salute. Hey, no love. Good morning to everybody. Y'all make sure y'all hitting the like button. Hey, country baby. Emmanuel, what's up, thug? Hey, Tracy. We just sitting here waiting on them to start. They have started the live, but, you know. I finally feel like we about to get some concrete answers. Everything we have so far been just speculation. What's crazy is you see everybody trying to come out and say something and talk about it now that they know the autopsy is in. Now the little white friends coming out and you know what I'm saying? But this gonna tell it all. Hey Ottawa, good morning. Hey J Mitch. What's up? What's up? Good morning, y'all. Y'all wanna know something funny? StreamYard will not let me take NBA Youngboy off the background. Now usually if your StreamYard not on, they'll give you the little black screen in the back where you don't really just see nothing. But for some reason it would not let me take it down. That's so crazy. Hey Hermione, good morning. I think Mississippi should have put theirs out first. I think so too. Um, I thought that the family and being Crump was gonna hold on to their autopsy until then. I felt like I thought that they was gonna press them. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? If we got our results back, we know y'all got y'all results back. Um, Plus, I think that Mississippi should have given theirs first because then we would have known if they was trying to lie. So the only reason why they holding on to their results is because they want to know what the family have first in that independent autopsy. But at this point, I'm so happy to be getting some answers and to be hearing about any autopsy. I want to know. I gotta know. Okay. But I definitely think that they should have pressed Mississippi to drop theirs first for sure. Hey guys, man, good morning. Yep, no love. That's how I feel about it. So yeah. And I'm hoping they'll make us wait forever just to give us the results. Child, we might be sitting here a whole hour and a half. They might be talking about some other shit before we even get the results. I hope they get straight into it. For real, for real. Take us right into it, man. Start this month off letting us know what these results are, period. Good morning, Lawrence. What's up? Grand Rising. Hey Prize. What's up, baby? How you? Yeah, it's so many people waiting to see this. It's crazy. Let me see how many they have now in here. Let's see. They have 4,500 people watching this blue screen. Almost 5,000 people watching this blue screen. If you add everybody else that's in these lives, shoot, they probably got about 8,000 people right now, just, waiting. I've been waiting on this for since yesterday. I had already had my live set up. I just put it on the unlisted, so couldn't nobody see it. But I had already had it set up. Good morning, Dee Dee. It's the middle of the week. It's hump day. Yes, come give us some answers so we can, you know what I'm saying, go over this for the next couple of days. Yeah. Everybody been lying all this time now. All of a sudden, since they know the autopsy results about to come out, everybody trying to tell everything. Hey, nah, let me get that black and white proof of what happened. Because this is ridiculous. Now I'm hearing that they went to a whole nother island or something like. Listen, it's a lot. I wish they go ahead and start. Y'all hear my kids in the background playing. Lord, why y'all talking about Jesus? Now she done told me don't worry about that. Exactly, Hermione Slade's mine too. Like, come on, what are y'all doing? Oh, that's a cute picture, Hermione Slade. That's cool.
Good morning. Good morning. If everyone could take
Thank
your
you.
seat,
Say
we'll
the
get
blue
started with the
screen is
press
very
conference
popular
in
between
roughly
Lakers and
2
Suns
minutes. If
feel.
everyone can take your
Nah, for
seats,
real.
we'll get ready to get started
They
in
definitely
roughly
got us
2
something to
minutes. Thank
feel.
you.
Good morning, T-Topic. Hey, baby. What's up? Yeah, we sitting here waiting, child. As soon as this start, I'm going on mute and staying on mute. We'll talk afterwards, okay? I ain't doing no pausing, no stopping, no nothing. We gonna hear it all. I can take my notes in my phone as I listen. And then afterwards, we gonna chop it up. Hey, Fly Rebel. What's up? Salute to everybody coming in. Y'all hit the like button for me. Hopefully they don't make us wait too long. Let me see how long the live been going without them. Let me see what time they say it started. 9 minutes ago, so it's definitely been at least 9 minutes. So wait, hold on. Let me see something. Oh, you know what? Let me. Oh no. Don't worry about it. That's something else. I'm about to say what the hell. But nah, that's something else. I'm not country. I ain't going nowhere today. I had other obligations yesterday, so but I still wanted to bring it to y'all, but I had some other stuff going on. But I'm here. Nah, I'm here. I ain't going no wood country. You ain't gotta worry about it. Yes, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. I know the whole Mississippi probably waiting on this live story. White and black. Y'all wanna know. Sure, it's been what, 3 weeks? And we haven't had no concrete answers about nothing. No factual information, nothing that we can say, oh, that was for sure a fact. Nothing. We got best friends saying they was best friends, mama saying she don't even know them. Pool party pictures that we don't know when they was taken. Yeah. Salute to Swamp Talk for becoming a member. Let's go, Swamp Talk. Thank you, boo. Oh, how long y'all think they gonna make us wait? Hold on, let me call Ben Crump. I don't know that man. I'm playing y'all. But if I did, I'd be like, I really love what's going on. We waiting. Okay, Gina. I'm about to now. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me remove it and bring it back.
What you doing? Mom, what you doing?
I'm live. I told y'all that already. Let me see, make sure I'm. Oh, I ain't even on mute. Salute to Swamp Talk for gifting and membership. Thank you, Swamp Talk. Let's go. All right, let me take the comments off of this screen. Right here, let's make sure the volume all the way up is good. All right, y'all, I'm going on mute. And thank you, Gina. So right now, it looks like on the NAACP channel, that one hasn't started, but the news stations that are covering it have started it. I mean, I guess this is better than looking at the blue screen. At least we see people walking around. We can see the NAACP podium up there. We see his picture in the background, so at least we're getting some visuals. Let's go, creative movement. Let's go, baby. Now, why they zoomed in on her face? Like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Why are they like? Just why? Like, what is going on? But listen, we ain't gonna complain. It's better than the blue screen. So, I am gonna be checking. Yeah, J Mitch, they did wrong for this shit. I am gonna be checking both sites to see whose volume is better. Um, if the other channel takes the blue screen down. I'm gonna see if their audio is better so that we can get the best audio possible. Okay. Hey, Nada B, salute. Now he funny. Here we go,
Good
y'all.
morning. My name is Trevon Williams, Senior Vice President of Marketing Communications with the NAACP. We are here because a demand was made. Demand for transparency, a demand for answers, and a demand for ultimate justice on behalf of Nolan Wells. And that demand must be honored. For that, we are honored to pause even for a moment to respond accordingly here at our national convention. Momentarily, you will hear from renowned civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who will provide updates on the findings of the independent autopsy that was conducted in the death of Nolan Wells. Immediately following that, we will take questions from credentialed media. We'll attempt to answer as many questions as we can. However, we want to be respectful of the fact that we do have additional programming that is going on to conclude our convention today as well. So we're asking that all press and media, if you're asking questions, please be concise, give your name, give your media credential, and we'll go from there. But before he comes, we will have the leader of the NAACP, President Derek Johnson, to give opening remarks. President Johnson.
Good morning. Far too often, our young people are confronted with challenges, and many jurisdictions and states don't take those challenges serious. We cannot allow another individual, particularly a young Black man's death, go uninvestigated. We have seen this happen over the years, not only in Mississippi, but across the country. It is unfortunate that our young people only seek to enjoy life. And as a result of participating in activities, no longer have life. For the NAACP, we take this and many other cases serious because every person matters. I want to thank the Mississippi State Conference, particularly Alicia Perryman, for working with the family and supporting the family on the onset. Because it's difficult to lose a loved one, it's even more difficult to navigate a process when all eyes are on you. And the pressure of balancing between grieving and navigating is upon you. And so within ACP family, this is our role, is to step in, to support when the families have an issue like this, and the local officials seem not to hold people accountable. It's unfortunate when you see news reports and law enforcement officials are repeating what individuals are saying as opposed to investigate the individuals who gave you the information, because you don't know who was involved or not involved. And so narrative matters in this case. And we're saying that in Nolan Wells' situation, the narrative should not be there was an accident before there was an investigation. The narrative should not be the words of individuals who went on a boat to the island with him, but they came without him, but with his cell phone, and you don't investigate those individuals. We're not accusing anyone of anything other than the state of Mississippi and local officials. We're accusing them of being derelict in their duties to follow up and to ensure that regardless of what happened, that there was a proper investigation so that this family and that community could be assured that if anyone was involved, they would be held accountable. And if it was truly an accident, that the families will have the necessary answers that any family deserves in this situation. I want to bring to the podium Attorney Benjamin Crump, a friend of mine who stepped in to take the case.
Now, y'all,
and
the
in support of the
NAACP
family to
one has
ensure
the parents.
that they get the answers
You can
that
see
they
them.
deserve.
So let me know if y'all want me
And
to
that
switch.
local officials and anyone involved will be held accountable to this family, to that system, because we are all parents, siblings, to loved ones who should not be confronted with this reality. Attorney Crump.
Thank you very much, President Derek Johnson, for your leadership, for the leadership of the Mississippi Conference of NAACP, and being there during the homegoing services to help the family go through what no parents want to go through. Thank you to Chairman Leon Russell, my longtime mentor from Florida, who helped raise so many of us. Thank you for always being there, Chairman Russell. As President Johnson said, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, representing the family of Nolan Wells, but it's not just me, it is a team effort of incredible, dedicated lawyers and investigators and paralegals. Attorney Lisa Park, attorney who you'll hear from in a few minutes, Attorney Eric Hertz, Attorney Gary Buchan, Attorney Camila Moore, Cliff Jones, Jared Presson, Alan Williams, our whole team of people who are committed, as I said, President Johnson, on this ferocious search for the truth of what really happened to Nolan Wells. But before we begin to discuss the intricacies of the preliminary findings of the independent autopsy, we think it would be appropriate for you all to hear from the people who knew Nolan Wells best, so they can thank you themselves and tell you about the trials and tribulations that they have been enduring since July 4th. July 4th will never be the same for them. I bring to the podium Nolan Wells' mother and father, Christine and Elmore. Please give them a warm NAACP welcome.
First of all, I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you to President Johnson as well as Chairman Russell. This has been a difficult journey. Losing a child, it truly breaks your heart. It is a pain that is just, you can't measure it. Especially someone like Nolan, who brought so much joy and light and life to everyone. You don't find too many genuine people like him. So to lose that light at such a young age under these circumstances has been absolutely difficult, which is why we've gone this route. There's so many people out in the public asking all of these questions, but the only question that we have is what happened to our son. That is the only question. We have consistently been degraded by the public. There's been questions about our parenting, our GoFundMe, this, that, and other. I've been called a racist. I am a healthcare provider. and I take my job very seriously. I love everyone. Um, and it's been difficult for us, but we are leaning into our faith, leaning into one another, also leaning into all of you. There are not enough thank yous, not enough appreciation for what you guys have done for us. And we do. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And so it is our hope that our local authorities will do what they need to do, because us having the preliminary autopsy results and hearing nothing from them, it's heartbreaking and it's concerning, which again is why we are here, why we have asked for this help. So again, thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate you. We really do.
Every day I wake up, it's a new challenge. Knowing that a part of me I will never talk to, I will never hold, I will never play around with or get mad at, it's not here anymore. Nolan brought a lot of joy to our family. He was the wittiest one out of everyone. The clown. He loved to put in the work because he wanted to be the best. He wanted to make me and his mother proud, and we were so proud of him just for being the person that he was. He was loving. All his teachers knew him, but loved him. He walks in the room, his aura, you are automatically drawn to it. Never met an enemy, and if they were, they would eventually be friends because they would eventually bond, and it's gonna be hard. He should be at football practice right now, calling me out to practice. Dad, I made this play, or I made that play, or I get a text with 3 or 4 videos of him doing this, running this route, making this block, and what you think? What you think I should do? And I will give my honest, because I always tell her, if anyone is going to be totally honest with you, it's going to be me. It's not because I'm being mean, but people outside your family are going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to know to make you better. It's going to be hard for our family from here on out. And like I said, every day is a challenge. We're going to miss our son. And like my wife said, we just want honesty. We want to know what happened to our son, because the things that you're telling us, that's not the character of our son. We know our son. I understand, our children would do things that, that would kind of dumbfound us sometimes, but the things that we're being told, there wasn't Nolan. So please keep us in your prayers, keep him in your prayers. And we're going to keep pushing and fighting until we find answers. Thank you guys for your love and support.
Thank you so much, Christine and Nolan. Christine and Elmore, Nolan's mother and father. Before we start to go over the preliminary findings from the independent autopsy, we will hear from Attorney Lisa Park to tell you about who was the forensic pathologist who conducted the autopsy. Attorney Lisa Park.
Thank you. Dr. Roger Mitchell could not join us today, but we felt it important before we reveal and unfold this report that you understand who conducted this autopsy. Dr. Roger Mitchell is a physician and board-certified forensic pathologist with 2 decades of experience. He currently serves as the president of the National Medical Association, which is the oldest and largest group of Black physicians in the U.S. Most recently, he also served as president of Howard University Hospital, chief medical officer of the Howard University Faculty Practice Plan, and chair of the Department of Pathology. Before joining Howard, he served as chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C. from 2014 to 2021, and later as interim deputy mayor for the Public Safety and Justice. Dr. Mitchell has conducted and managed thousands of autopsies and is nationally recognized for his work at the intersection of medicine, public health, and justice. For this case, we sought out the very best, and we are proud to be working with the very best.
Thank you, Attorney Park. I again want to express our gratitude to President Johnson, Chairman Russell, and the NAACP, because civil rights is more important than ever in the United States of America today. And so we thank you for the civil rights leaders stepping up to say that our children's lives matter now more than ever. And I want to thank all of you for getting up 8 in the morning. If people could see how many people are gathered here, they would say, you all are truly blessed to have the support of America, Christine and Elmore. And I want to thank the media for covering this matter, because they don't always cover when our children are taken away from us in highly unquestionable ways. And I do understand there's a lot of news going on in America today. I woke up to them saying LeBron James is going to announce where he's going to play basketball next year. But I'm very happy that the media said this story is just as important. And I'm sure LeBron James and Rich Paul and Stephon Curry and Draymond Green, Jaylen Brown, Embiid, Maxey, Giannis, Bam, and many other players in the National Basketball Association will all agree that our children's lives are far more important than where LeBron or any other player will play next year. And so that's why I thank you all for being here, because this news is as important as any news in the United States of America, finding out why is Nolan Wells dead. And I want to thank you all who have called the call center. I want to thank Reverend Al Sharpton. I want to thank Mr. Tyler Perry. I want to thank Mr. Terry Owens for putting up the $125,000 reward for anybody out there who have information so we can get to the truth of what happened. I mean, any videos, we've gotten so many videos, President Johnson, from that day from young people, and we want them to have the courage to come forward with the pictures, what you heard. I know people said there were a lot of disturbances out there. Some believe it involved Nolan. All of those things are important to get to the truth of what happened. The fact, Christine, that the United Cajun Navy are so forthcoming. The fact that they told us, we haven't heard from any of their local officials, that Nolan was found face down, fully clothed. But that's significant to us because the last time we saw him on the videos, he was without a shirt. So at what point did he put on a shirt? Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. There were almost 300, 400 people. Somebody knows something. So, Scott X, we're trying to just make sure people understand that you can call the Nolan Wells tip line. At bencrump.com, we will gladly listen to you, take any information as we try to put together this puzzle of what happened to Nolan Wells. And today, we're going to add some more parts to this puzzle because my legal team and I, we stand for truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or it acquits. Yeah, and we stand for transparency because we got eyes that can see, and we don't need government officials having to narrate it for you and me. We can see it for ourselves. Transparency. That leads to the truth. The truth is the foundation for accountability and justice. And that's all we're seeking, as Christina Elmore said, from day one. So with that, and Christina Elmore, if you all want to sit, we're about to go through this autopsy. I know it may be a little emotional. Thank you, President. As we begin to present the preliminary findings of the autopsy, we want to especially thank Mr. Colin Kaepernick for not thinking it robbery to pay for the autopsy. Let's go. So, an autopsy will be provided for the media and press at bencrump.com. So, Mr. Jones, keep that. I'll read this. So, Dr. Roger Mitchell, board certified forensic pathologist, performed a preliminary report on the death of Nolan Xavier Wells. He conducted and presented this report on July 19th, 2026. Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning. The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Name of decedent, Nolan Xavier Wells, age 18 years old, race, black, gender, male, date of death, unknown. Second autopsy date was performed on July 10th, 2026. Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decompensation. He said corona incision of the scalp, brain removal, Y-shaped incision of the anterior torso, and he talked about the organs being removed, as is common, accompanied in the body cavity. And that when you have an autopsy, the organs are removed from the body and they are dissected and examined. And then they are put back in a bag within inside the body. So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity so the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well. Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not received with the body. And we'll explain that in just a minute. And then it talks about the additional procedures performed during the second autopsy. And we'll go into the paragraphs on that there, because he explains it better in his narrative. So where's the first page of that discussion? Not the diagram yet. Diagram on that. So he talks in the preliminary discussion opinion. This forensic pathologist identified several limitations during the second autopsy that create barriers to establishing a definitive cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells. And that's important. He talks about the fact that we didn't get to see the body when it was first recovered, like the medical examiner working for Mississippi would have seen. He talked about The second autopsy performed on Nolan Wells revealed marked decompensation or changes. Marked decompensation can obscure the presence and absence of bruising on the skin surface, especially during a second autopsy examination. What he's saying, because the body was so decomposed that you couldn't tell if there was bruises or abrasions on the body when he received it on the 10th of July. For these reasons, additional dissection procedures not performed during the first autopsy examination were performed to rule out potential blunt force injuries responsible for the death. These procedures included facial dissection, posterior head and neck dissection, dissection of the ribs, the pelvic, dissection of the subcutaneous and deep soft tissue, dissection of the back, the buttocks, the arms, and legs. He did all of this to rule out things. He ruled out there were no fractures or deep tissue injuries identified. This was very important because he wanted to be very thorough and very transparent, because transparency is the key to getting to the answers of why Nolan Wells is not with us. So he did that there and was very straightforward, very open, very open. He says, however, dissection of the back of the head during the layered posterior neck dissection revealed a 12 by 8-inch focal area of red discoloration in the deep soft tissues overlaying the occipital bone. And he talked about how he found red discoloration when he cut open into the back of his head towards the occipital bone, and he saw the red discoloration, and we actually saw the pictures of it. It's significant. You can't help but notice, why is this dark red here in the back of his head? And so he was important to note that in his report. He said that etiology of this finding is unclear. There are no lacerations of the overlaying skin nor fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury due to both the extensive decomposition and the absence of associated injuries. This finding, however, is significant enough to be highlighted in this preliminary report for further investigation. It is important to reiterate that the finding could not have been observed in the first autopsy because the posterior head and neck dissection were not performed. He said another limitation faced by this forensic pathologist was the absence of the anterior internal neck structures. The trachea and the laryngeal cartilage, the thyroid horn, and the hyoid bone were not received with the body. So he's saying that the throat was not received with the body when he got Nolan Wells' body in Washington, D.C. to perform the second autopsy. And so let's discuss that with what he said about that. He said, it is assumed that the initial pathologist retained these structures for additional evaluation. He said the retention of the anterior neck structures during an initial autopsy is a common forensic pathology practice. He was chief medical examiner for 7 years in Washington, D.C., and he said that if they had concern about throat or any fracture or compression of the throat, they too will hold them back. He doesn't know why they held the throat back, but he said the throat was not with the body of Nolan Wells when he received it in Washington, D.C. to perform the second autopsy. He said, nevertheless, a posterior neck dissection performed without review of the anterior neck structures is incomplete. Therefore, this pathologist cannot rule out injury to the neck as a contributor or a cause of death. He said he would need to have the medical examiner in Mississippi allow him to review the throat. That's why he said his autopsy is undetermined pending investigation. Remember, it's about transparency. Because the initial autopsy rightfully removed and dissected each organ, there are additional limitations inherent in the second autopsy of Nolan Wells. The most significant of the limitations was the inability to directly observe the airway and the lungs for water and directly observe the stomach for gastric contents. He said it is very significant as to what the initial forensic scientists who got to review the body when it was recovered. We have heard from our call center people saying the body wasn't waterlogged. Well, we need to know those things. But unfortunately, because the body was decomposed and the organs have already been dissected, those are things we can only get from the initial autopsy. So therefore, again, the manner and cause of death is undetermined until further investigation. We are hopeful that the Mississippi Medical Examiner would give Dr. Mitchell an opportunity to see their photographs and their observations to the condition of Nolan Wells' body closer in time to July 4th. That is very important, and we have to continue to demand transparency, President Johnson. In addition, the original toxicology results have not been received at the time of this report, and we continue to wait for the toxicology to come back, because again, that will be part of the investigation into Nolan Wells' autopsy by Dr. Mitchell. It is significant to know that it's many things that go into toxicology that only Dr. Mitchell will be able to opine upon, and medical experts can opine upon. And he feels the proper place to do that is before a grand jury in a courtroom. And so we would hope that the district attorney would present Dr. Mitchell before the grand jury as well. We want all relevant information to be heard by the grand jury. Lastly, in cases where a death has occurred in or around a body of water. Lastly, in cases where a death has occurred in or around a body of water with suspicion of drowning, it is important to confirm how that person entered the water. This is the crux of the matter. This information is especially important for those deaths of persons who can swim. As in the case with Nolan Wells, at the time of this report, this forensic pathologist does not know the condition of Nolan Wells. He did not know whether he was conscious or unconscious when he entered the water. He said that would be significant. He said he did not know whether he was forced into the water or unforced into the water. He said that would be significant. So he said the condition of Nolan Wells before he entered the water would be the crux of the matter. It would be of utmost importance to being able to determine a cause and manner of death. He said, definitive circumstances of death are required to determine the manner of death. For these reasons, this pathologist cannot rule out, and let me really call your attention to this. For these reasons, this pathologist cannot rule out if any intervening non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Understand, he said based on the examination of the body, he cannot rule out foul play. That is significant. With the following questions still outstanding, number one, what were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water? Number two, what was the body position when it was found? We know that a member of the United Cajun Navy said that he was face down and he was fully clothed. Number three, was there water in the airway? Remember he talked about the lungs and the airways where they fill with water. Number four, is there any evidence of injuries to the anterior neck structure? We got the autopsy without his neck. We got the body without his neck at the time of the second autopsy. Number five, is there any evidence of any intracranial hemorrhage? He said that is going to be very significant. Things that he could not observe at autopsy that the initial medical examiner would have been able to observe. Number six, was the composition of what was the composition of the stomach contents? He talks about that being important because when was he found? How long had he been in the water? How long had it been since his last meal? All those things become relevant factors when you're trying to do a thorough and impartial autopsy. And number seven, what are the toxicology report findings? He said the best classification again for the cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells is undetermined pending investigation. This forensic pathologist reserves the right to review and incorporate additional forensic pathology information into his opinion as it becomes available. He says, the above opinions are expressed to a reasonable degree of medical certainty. Dr. Roger A. Mitchell, July 19, 2026. And we know that, as I said, this is only another part of the puzzle. And even though it tells us significant information, we still have more questions than we have answers at this time. And we will continue to press forward and persist, Christine and Elmore, with getting the answers to these questions. Because as you, yes, we will persist, because as Christine and Elmore and Attorney Parker and I talked this morning, we know that there are so many conflicting stories. The fact that she said him being found face down, the fact that we have other videos where people who have called said that is Nolan who is in some kind of dispute with others. We're looking at all of these things. The fact that the GPS tracking of the boat is being questioned by many. We're trying to dot every I and cross every T, because we understand that when our children's lives are at stake, it matters. Not just what happened, but what we do in the aftermath of them being taken away from us. And just like the NAACP stood up when another tragedy in Mississippi taking the life of young Emmett Till, we will stand up for Nolan Wells. Just like the NAACP and civil rights leaders stood up when another Mississippi son was taken in Medgar Evers. We will stand up for Nolan Wells. And just like too many of our young people, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Terrence Crutcher, Stephon Clark, Sandra Bland, Atiana Jefferson, Sterling Alton Sterling, Eric Gardner, George Floyd, Tamir Rice, the young people who I was trying to focus on. Gary, we stand up until we get the truth, until we get justice for Nolan Wells. 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 We will ask if Christine and Elmore and President Johnson can come back and join us on the stage, and we will have you coordinate questions and answers for us or President Johnson or Attorney Park and I. I will say this: as President Johnson comes to the stage, I was sharing this with him and Chairman Russell, Christine Clark. God knows we wish we had you at the Department of Justice now. Christine Clark. As I was sharing with President Johnson and Reverend Al and others, this is so important that we continue to talk about Nolan Wells and what happened to him, and that we get attention on him, because to get attention on him, it brings attention, Cliff Jones, to other cases that are not getting their attention as of yet. But I'm so grateful to Christine and Elmer, because they said whatever we can do, not only to help our son, but to help these other young black boys who was killed the July 4th holiday. And I want to take a moment before we answer your questions to talk about two other young black men, both 18 years old, who were killed in extraordinary ways that are very similar to Nolan. President Johnson, 18-year-old Daniel Irvins went on a fishing trip, out on a fishing boat with two other young men. He was the only black. It is alleged that he ended up accidentally drowning, but his two white friends got his cell phone and threw it away, got his clothes and threw it away, and then went and deleted all of their text messages with him and social media. Sounds familiar? And they've only been charged with tampering with evidence. And his mother is crying out that they should be charged with murder, because if they would lie about his cell phone and his clothes and deleted messages, then they will lie about what really happened to Daniel Irvins. And then there's the matter of President Johnson, Christine Clark, of 18-year-old Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, on 4th of July, was at a house party with about 10 other people. He was the only black person at the house. He somehow ends up shot in the head, dead. Some of the friends get rid of the gun. The police show up. They tell the police it was an accident. It was an accidental shooting, that they were playing Russian roulette. And Tyler Smith ended up getting killed. And apparently, Christine Clark, President Johnson, the police just took their word for it. His mother and grandmother are incensed. They asked the police, did you do a gunshot residue test on his hands? And the reason they said they had to call us, like Daniel Irvins and Nolan Wells' family, because the police told them, President Johnson, that there was no need to do gunshot residue on his hands or any of the other people in the house, because I don't understand this logic, but they said if they were playing Russian roulette, then all of them would have gunshot residue on their hands. So we don't need to do gunshot residue tests. It makes no sense whatsoever. So they are taking the word of these 10 people that your son just killed himself. And you don't have to worry about doing any investigation or testing forensically anything. Just take our word for it. Now, can you imagine in any three of these scenarios, had the survivors been young black men and they were with a young white man and he ended up dead, what those questions were answered. But just like you would do a thorough investigation for your children, we want you to do a thorough investigation for our children. We don't want anything special. We just want equal justice. Equal justice. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Trevon to lead us in the final section.
Well, a few questions. We have my colleagues on either side with microphones. Please announce your name and your media outlet if you have any questions. We're going to be quick because we have other programming going on in real time. We'll go here first.
Hi, everybody. Samantha Chapman, ABC 7 Chicago. You just unveiled a comprehensive outline of the independent report. Can you summarize for our viewers? Because there's a lot to take in, a lot of information. So in summary, can you succinctly tell us what we can take away from this report? And also, if you can provide more details about the neck. Yeah. I heard a lot of people behind me gasping when that detail was mentioned.
Yeah. Let me try to be very comprehensive. As Dr. Roger Mitchell said, that the focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know at autopsy. The reason he says he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But he started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern to him. Thank you.
We'll go here.
Daryl Denard with Chicago Speaks on V103. What specifically are you calling for from Mississippi authorities in terms of transparency, but more importantly, investigations?
And I know President Johnson is from the state of Mississippi, and the Mississippi Conference president is here. They're calling, as we are, for a fair, impartial, comprehensive investigation. When Nolan's parents heard the sheriff say there's no foul play at the beginning of the investigation, that is cause for concern, major concern. You haven't even investigated, but you're saying no foul play. And so we want them to dot every I and cross every T. You know, we had a meeting with the district attorney, and we expressed to them about our lived experiences. The fact, and you know, they said that's not what happens in her office, but we said we believe if the roles were reversed and there were 3 young black 18-year-olds and there was a white 18-year-old who was with them and he ended up dead, we don't believe that those young black men would not have been interrogated to the full extent of the law. We believe that it would not have been a choice whether they were going to cooperate with law enforcement if their lawyers and them were going to cooperate. No, no. They would have been held until they gave answers. They would have been held until they explained the cell phone in their possession. They would have been held until their cell phones have been examined. And so whatever you would do, had the roles been reversed, we want you to do the same thing for Nolan Wales.
We have time for one more question, and then we're going to have a prayer with our Religious Affairs Committee with the family. One more question here. What's it?
I'm Tiffany Walden with the Charter in Chicago. I know that we're talking about a transparent investigation, but for families and people who are watching, can you kind of give a breakdown or a timeline to the best of your ability of the contact that you've had with Mississippi authorities or Ocean Springs authorities or the Cajun Navy? Have you all talked to them? Do they call you after the initial autopsy? Is it just radio silence from them? Do you have to call them? Can you kind of walk us through that process?
The last time we actually spoke with local authorities, which would be the sheriff's department, was I think a day or two after his body was found. That was only initiated by me. I sent him a text message. I was like, hey, this is Christine, Nolan's mom. I just want to see if there are any updates. Basically, he called back. There were no updates. He's like, we're still interviewing. And again, my concern, and also my husband's concern, was it was not even an hour that his body had been removed. And the sheriff came out and said, this is, accidental drowning. We don't think there's foul play. Again, that is why we're doing what we're doing and why we're moving the way we are. Because I sat there and asked them, please take this case as if this is your child, your family member, your whatever. And they promised that they would, but when you make statements like that straight out the gate, that's an issue. We did meet with the DA. She did promise, transparency and all of this, all of that. However, damage has already been done because now that's the narrative that's being pushed by the general public, who again, know nothing really, only what they're hearing from other people. So in addition to that, it's all these things coming up. And at the end of the day, like I said before, any parent that would be in this situation, you would do anything to find out what happened to your child. And that is what we're here to do.
It is very important to note that this narrative, this suggestion that it was an accidental drowning, nothing to see here, is troubling, even if that's the case. There were 300 to 400 people out on Horns Island. You mean to tell me nobody saw anything? Nobody can tell us anything about what happened to one of the few black people that were out there on that island that day? It just doesn't add up. The fact that they're saying Nolan said that he would stay behind, but yet an 18-year-old kid would not want his cell phone if he was going to stay behind. The fact that, you have the young lady saying that he said he was going to get back on the boat with the boys, and then the boys saying no, he said he was going to stay behind and talk to her. If that was the case, don't you believe Nolan would have said, give me my cell phone, I'm going to stay behind. Give me my car keys, I'm going to stay behind. It's not adding up. And so we're going to keep fighting and digging until we get the answers, the transparency, the truth, the accountability, and justice for Nolan Wales. 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 Justice for Nolan Wales.
Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for Nolan Wells. We're going to have our Religious Affairs Committee join us quickly so we can have a quick word of prayer with the family, and that will conclude our press conference formally.
Good morning. It's a good morning in spite of all that we have heard. It's a good morning because we're here for justice. I'm Reverend Wendell Anthony from the Detroit branch and also a member of the National Board of Directors and part of the Religious Affairs Committee, joined by colleagues who are here. I'm going to ask all of you if you would be so kind as to just link arms. Just link arms so that we can link ourselves around this particular moment and around this family. There's an old African proverb that says, those whom we love die only in the physical sense, but their spirit continues to live on in the will and determination of those whom they leave behind. Mr. and Mrs. Wells, I did not know your son, but I could tell from just looking at his photograph, I can feel the aura, the joy that you talked about. We all can experience and feel that. Ben Crump has chronicled the list of pain moments in our community by the deceased, by those who are now martyrs. We have been dying since 1619, still seeking justice. Pray with me. O Lord, our Lord, how very excellent is thy name in all the earth. We are here for but one reason, to answer the question, what does the Lord require of us? But to do justice, to love mercy, to even walk humbly with our God. Lord God, your people are here seeking justice. We're here for transparency. We're here for truth. You who are the way, the truth, and the life. We're here because of you. Lord God, how long must we continue to pay evil a toll at the gateway towards justice? How long must we see our children lie bleeding in the streets, in the sand, in the water, and the asphalt pavements of this nation that we built, even on July the 4th, a day that serves a lesson in mockery and dichotomy, where we talk about independence, yet we are not independent from those who seek justice. Help us, Lord. Bless us right now. Bless this family. Cover this mother whose tears fall down her cheeks. Cover this father as he remembers his son, whom he taught and whom he mentored to play in life, but more importantly, to play the game the way it should be played in living. Lord God, we thank you so much. We've gone down the road. They lied on Martin. They lied on Medgar. They lied on Malcolm. But more importantly, oh God, they lied on you. You who know about lies. We know that the truth shall eventually set us all free. Help us to get the truth, even in Mississippi. Oh Lord, help us to get the truth for our children. You know, like we know, there are more black boys in school than are in jail. We know, oh God, that there are more of us who are striving for the benefit of life rather than the poison from living. Oh Lord, how long will justice continue to lift up her brow so that she can see who is standing before us, so she can make a decision that is not in interest, but in the interest of those who seem to be different from us. Help us, Lord. Don't we as a people bleed like everybody else? Don't we as a people need comfort like everybody else? Don't we as a people need justice like everybody else? Don't we as a people feel the pain when our children are taken from us like everybody else? Help America, Lord, because America has a problem. We don't have a problem. America has a problem. Fix the problem. In 250 years, we still seem to suffer from the same old problem. Fix America, oh God. Fix justice, oh God. Fix us, oh God. Fix Mississippi, oh God. Fix those who are standing at the gateway to break open the doors for justice. Not just us, but justice. Help us now, Lord. This is our prayer. This is our plea. As we seek that which you have the power to give, and that is justice. The just shall live by their faith. The just shall live by their faith. And oh Lord, we know that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Let's win in the name of justice. Let the people who love God, who are called according to his name for every good purpose, who believe in justice, say amen, amen, amen. Now give justice our hand praise. We praise God for justice. God bless.
Y'all, we can't let them keep doing this. We can't. We really, really can't. It could have been any one of our kids that this happened to. This cover up is real. It is big. And they gonna cover it up until they can't cover it up no more. That's why we still haven't got an autopsy result from them. How did they remove everything? I understand the organs. I understand they have to be removed for autopsy. But the throat is on a whole nother level. They can't even tell if he was ever even, like, if water was even in his lungs. Like, this is crazy. It's definitely got to stop, country. It's got to. Like, and I know we say this every time. Whew, but this is a lot. This is a lot. I mean, I know most of us expected to hear some crazy stuff when it came to this autopsy. We expected it. We knew this wasn't gonna be oh, he drowned. But dang, hearing it and hearing it and noticing the cover up is so disappointing. The whole throat missing is definitely absurd, Kelly style. Like, I've never heard of that. And even the medical examiner was like, he needs the throat. He needs to see that throat. He said the only time he's ever removed the throat was if it needed further investigating. Like, he had to remove it to further investigate what happened with it. So for them to not do whatever thorough investigation that they had to do and then send the throat off, for them to keep it, is insane. This is crazy. Like, all Black people need to wake the hell up, because it's definitely a war against us. And it's sad to say, but 90% of Black people don't even know why they should be worried. Hey, Miss Parker, you on mute. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for covering this. I was actually in the bank setting up a live to talk
For
about
real?
this before. Yeah, before Ben Crump came out, because I had to go take care of some business. So this is what I want everybody to pay attention to with the medical examiner. She's the same medical examiner that said that Trey Reed unalived himself in that tree. But when the second autopsy came out, he had blunt force trauma to the head and other stuff. This is the same medical examiner that has determined that all and most black people that come in front of her is undetermined. It's out. It's nothing ever specified with her. Like it's come on, PayDae.
This is crazy.
In his throat. You get what I'm saying? That's the cover up part because we got to think they went and searched that area. He wasn't there.
Yep. He didn't appear till 2 days later. I don't care what nobody say. That is not normal. They checked that spot over and over again. For him to wash up in that same exact spot 2 days later, y'all put him there.
Absolutely.
Y'all put
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. And see, PayDae, they're gonna cover it up because not only that, when they really go and start digging, they gotta uncover not just Nolan's, but all those African American people that she has done this to. All those cases need to be re-examined.
Yep.
All of them.
Now, I will say that now I hate that I haven't been seeing as much FBI involvement as I would like to say. See, I mean, they said that this is their jurisdiction. So it's like, why aren't we constantly hearing from the FBI? We have heard nothing from them. So I feel like the FBI is strong enough and has enough resources to be able to investigate this medical examiner, and all those cases that she's ever covered concerning Black people should be looked at.
Absolutely.
And reversed.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't right. And she needs to go to jail. It's as simple as that.
Cause I could see a couple, but when I read off that list of names, PayDae last week when I really looked into her, I was like, no way. There's no way. There is no way. And then the one Black boy, I gotta get his name. He had swelling of the brain and so much other stuff. So what was undetermined?
Yeah.
What was undetermined, but he had, when they got the second autopsy, it was swelling of the brain and this. And another thing with our Black families, you have to stop taking that blood money. We have to stop taking that money from them. To sweep this under the rug is why justice never happens for us. I don't want money. Money don't give us justice. You get what I'm saying? That's
money
just
will never bring my child back.
Come on.
For the rest of my life, I will be fighting. Forget money. I don't care if I listen. Okay? For my child, it ain't no let me take this and let y'all sweep it under the rug. No, I don't want millions. It's not enough. If you can't give me my child back, your millions is not enough. I want justice and I want my money. How about that? For pain and suffering. But I need both of them. Don't think I'm about to sweep nothing under the rug because you done paid me or gave me some money. This is crazy.
And PayDae, the fact they sent everything but his throat. Come on, man. That right there told.
They don't have the stomach content. Something else that was weird was he was found fully clothed, face down. Who jumped in water to swim fully clothed? The only way you're gonna do that is if you're trying to get away from something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Either you didn't drown or you was trying to get away from something and you jumped in that water to get away.
And we're not going to skip the deleted text messages. What did y'all delete at his phone? Why was y'all even in his phone? What was y'all deleting?
Why y'all holding his car keys, his phone, but you steady not giving his mom no answer? Y'all didn't bring her the phone. She still had to come to y'all to get the phone.
Yeah.
Salute to everybody that's coming in the building. Lily and Jazz, and there was a couple other people that I saw come in. Salute to everybody. Y'all make sure y'all hitting the like button. Hey, SRT Ken, Pretty Gems. If I miss you, I'm sorry, but good morning.
And we can't forget the behavior of what the daddy said, how they was reacting when he went to get the phone and the car keys. Yep. How they was, if he drowned, PayDae, what we nervous for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What y'all nervous for? Why did y'all not want to give his father the belongings?
We don't have y'all's autopsy results. Y'all did y'all autopsy on July the 7th. Y'all sent his body off on July the 10th. They have come forward with their second autopsy, and we still haven't heard the first one. So you can't tell if you don't know the results by now. The only thing we should be waiting on is toxicology report because it takes weeks.
And PayDae 2, you got to think about this. Why automatically, how did the sheriff determine drowning? Like,
drowning and didn't
come
know
on.
nothing.
You just found him. Like, how could y'all say that? Like, you not no medical examiner to just be like, yeah, he drowned.
Exactly.
And Judge Ashley, let's not forget, she already set up the alibi. Yeah, the boat stopped at 4:00, 4:30. So then, like I always say, how did y'all know he got on a second boat? Go back to her story. Y'all can't change it now. Cause see, once you change it, we already know what it is. But when you first initially spoke, she said that they got stuck in the water. They left at 3. So they now 4:30, that's been an hour and a half that they've been in this water, right? They've been gone from the beach. How did y'all know that he went with the girl on another boat?
Right. Yeah. Well, they were saying that he stayed on the island to talk to the girl. But why would he leave his phone? Why would he give y'all his phone? Hey, y'all, I'm gonna stay here and talk to her, but he'll take my phone with y'all. I'll come get it later. What? Nobody does that. Kid or adult. Nobody's leaving on the island and giving no friends no phone and leaving it with them. That just does not make sense. How you gonna get back? What if you have to contact somebody? What if something happens? Nobody leaves their phone. I'm sorry, not even me.
Yes. But PayDae, they said, go back, they said he got on another boat with Katie and him. How do y'all know that? If y'all was stuck on the water, after y'all got the boat, remember the boat is allegedly sinking. The boat's allegedly sinking.
It's filling with water.
Filling with water. And then they said from there, they went to the house. And that's when they realized Nolan, if everybody go back to the first story, they realized Nolan ain't with us. You mean tell me the only black kid on the boat?
And you ain't know
y'all ain't noticed.
So what's weird is how you didn't notice he wasn't with y'all, but then at the same breath say he stayed behind to talk to Katie.
Absolutely. Bingo. Bingo.
Like, that's insane. I'm absolutely listen. I mean, like I said, we expected it, but it's still hard to hear. It's still hard to hear. I swear it is.
Because it's almost like admittance, but it's almost like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a slap in the face to them. Like, ain't nothing gonna happen to us.
And then
so let it go.
Even with the them calling for the boat to be towed in, and the person towing the boat asking, is everybody on board and okay? And them saying yes, everybody's on board, everybody is okay. But you don't have Nolan, so everybody's not on board. Or was he on board? Like, what? I don't understand.
And go back to when the phone calls was initially made, reporting everything. You get what I'm saying? You got to pay attention. All of that matters.
Yep.
All of that matters.
It needs to be investigated for sure. Definitely. I feel like all the parents involved.
Absolutely.
The other kid's parent is a doctor. The other one is a lawyer. So,
and one of them mama work at the jail. She's a officer of the jail.
You see what I'm saying? Like, all these people are in law enforcement. Well, except for the doctor. This is insane. Now they saying that I'm hearing now that they supposedly went to another island.
That's what I'm saying. PayDae, come on. You get what I'm see? Now we going from this to that. Come on.
This is insane.
It's called the cover up.
It is. And
so you mean to tell me, let's look at it like this. So in Mississippi, the black boy that just, alleged they pushed him off the boat, the white boys hit his clothes and all of that and stuff like that. They got him. They got them right. Look at the backgrounds of the boys. You get what I'm saying? These ain't no rich white boys. These like kind of like trailer park in the hood type of white boys. They got them. They got them. What's the difference with this one? What's the difference? The powerful people behind it. Ashley, for one. We talking about Mississippi for. Let's start there for one.
Let's start there.
One of the most racist states in the United States.
That's a fact.
Then we got Ashley, the judge, like you said, the lawyers, the doctors, and the elite of it all. PayDae, it's enough to kind of see like you ain't it ain't gonna happen.
Yep. And I my whole thing is I need all Black people to know why they are so threatened by us. I need y'all to understand why. They know exactly who we are. They have kept it from us, but they know exactly who we are. Okay? This melanin ain't nothing to play with at all. We definitely God's people. See, the sun gives us energy. Okay? That's why we get all sleepy and drowsy when it's raining. The sun gives us energy. Our skin locks it in and energizes us. The sun burns them. Okay? The sun burns them. They know exactly. They know that we're supposed to be, listen, we're supposed to be the rulers of the world, to be honest. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up the video of a white man explaining to y'all why they're threatened by us. We're going to listen to that. Because, I hear too many Black people excuse the behaviors of them or, like, make it okay. Or, well, they shouldn't have did this. Well, the Black person shouldn't have said this. Other Black people. Man, y'all better wake up. For real, for real. But yeah, we're going to listen to this white man tell us exactly who the hell we are and exactly why they feel the way they feel. Okay? It's definitely a war on us. For sure.
I'm glad you pointed that out, PayDae, because you got to think about go back to Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? They knew how powerful we was.
Yeah.
They knew how. I mean, that's like one of the biggest. I always go back to how they destroyed Black Wall Street and why. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because they hid our history from us. That's why history is his story. Okay? They hid it from us. That's why we are confused as a people. That's why we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Where we come from. They purposely hide that from us. Because if we knew our worth, baby, if all Black people ever woke up and really knew who the hell we were, they knew they can't do nothing with it. We the best in everything. Musically, athletically, mentally. I can go on and on. Yeah.
We built America.
Yeah.
We built America. The slaves built the railroad track. The slaves built them brick walls, y'all. All of that. We did that.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. That's a big fact.
That's why Crump went in. When he came in, PayDae, you notice his second term, he came in. The first thing he did was taking Black history books out of the museums and stuff. Why?
Yep. Absolutely.
As a president, why are you focused on taking Black history out of museums, covering up? They took down a lot of monuments, y'all. Y'all gotta really watch the news. All kind of Black monuments and anything with slavery painted. They painted over it and have taken monuments down as of today.
But I'm gonna tell you why I wasn't upset with it. I'm not upset with that because y'all was already lying. Y'all was already lying. Yeah, y'all gave us Black history, but y'all had already covered up so much. Y'all only gave us this little piece of history that y'all wanted us to have and know. It is our job as Black parents to teach our kids what the hell happened to us and who the hell we are, not them.
Absolutely.
Because they'll never give it to them. So when he did that, I didn't care. That's why I didn't care. That's the only reason why I didn't care. Because it's my responsibility to make sure my kids know who they are and whose they are. Them people ain't gonna tell us. They ain't gonna give it to us. They gonna hide. They gonna lie. And first of all, to give it to us only a month out of the year, the shortest month out of the year. And these same regurgitated people, Harriet Tubman, it's the same regurgitated people. Nobody,
Yes.
they ain't gonna tell us about all the people that were actually black that they changed to white for the books. Okay, just gave them a whole white face, same name, but it's a whole black man. They did it, but they want everybody to think that it was a white man who did it. Yeah, so they've been lying. So yeah, you can take that shit out of the history books. You can take all that shit down because none of it, half of it ain't true. It's half truth. So you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, like we as a people have to wake up and do what needs to be done. And it starts young. We way too late in the game. Like we old just finding out what our kids should be learning right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that book for that purpose, for that reason. It starts there. It starts with our kids, y'all.
And you definitely did that when you wrote Black Men Can. You know what I'm saying? That was definitely us. Y'all get the book. And you know, I was showing that I did that like maybe last year, and I should have kept it going. I was like showing black history all throughout like every state of America. Like it ain't just here. Let me show y'all how deep and how far it goes back. I even had showed a community in New York. I had did a live and was showing like how you know, the black people started buying homes and how they would come together as a community and, you know, would get in touch with the homeowners and, you know, banish the white homeowners that was willing to sell the blacks homes in this community to the black people, the African American people in how they would break the windows, like just do everything, like go to the higher ups and get them, you know, start owning their home. They started owning their houses. You know what I'm saying? They took over the other white people's house for allowing black people to move in or buy from them. You get what I'm saying, PayDae? So it
Yeah,
goes back,
just like
it's
the
deep
Indians,
rooted.
just like when the Indians came, when Africans came over, and some of them, you know, like joined tribes and stuff, and you know, the white people came and started to basically make the Indians cut all the Africans out of their like tribal stuff so that they wouldn't be able to benefit from what the Indians have today. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Even pay attention to this. We've been owed 40 acres in a mule, right?
Yep.
PayDae.
Yep.
But how can it be that the Indians receive checks every month? Why are they giving the Indians checks every month?
Yes. Yes. When a lot of us have Indian heritage, you know what I mean.
Let's go.
So, especially the ones that the Africans that came over and actually made it with the Indians, right? And so now their kids are Indian, but the whites wanted to cut those kids out of this. They didn't, you know, like, no, we're not about to get them land. Like, yeah, they started trying to make the Indians choose. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
But PayDae, thank you for covering this today. I'm right over and turcating them up.
okay, I'm gonna
Not
be
gonna
over
lie.
there. I already have
Yeah,
my
I'm right.
I saw your live set up. It's for 1:30. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Miss Parker at 1:30. She will be talking about the medical examiner. I most definitely have my notification set so I could be over there, baby.
I agree with you. Everybody definitely gonna talk about. I think Ben Crump should have had somebody else read you just be the lawyer. Just have somebody else that knows things like that to read that,
Yeah,
because
you should have
I
been
was
the
confused. I'm driving. Girl, look, I'm driving to the hair store. Like, what? Like, he had me for a minute. I was like, wow. Then it was like, what? You know what?
Girl, I don't know why they didn't let the lady who was working with the medical examiner just go ahead and give the results so that she can explain it, and then Ben Crump come behind her and then hype the crowd up and talk about the injustice that was done. He made it very confusing. He made it very confusing. I'm not gonna
He
lie.
did that with Shanquilla's in Washington. I met Ben Crump in DC, And he did that, you know what I'm saying? He's good peoples. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I met him a couple of times. I was just up there with him down here in Shelby, North Carolina, like a month ago. So he's good people. Just let somebody else do the reading. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I'm asking.
So
Is
that we
please.
can understand. You know, like we need you to break down these laws, and you know what I'm saying. I just need him to just stay in his lane. We got like, listen, you got to give us everything when it comes to this law, these laws and this lawyer shit. But this medical shit, we gonna need some medical people to break it down.
And PayDae, when you know the next time you cover anything about Nolan, do go and check her out, the medical examiner. When you hear all these cases,
All these different
and
people.
then when you hear about the second autopsy results, it is chilling. It will give you like goosebumps. And I cannot believe that these families, and I get it about Mississippi, but you know, I'm in contact with some of the friends that went to the school down there with Nolan. I'm behind the scenes with them, and the one little girl, she was like, "It's so much going on, Miss Parker, right now. I want to come at a later date to interview." And I was like, "Yeah," because she, you know, they got this thing on TikTok where they're like, waiting for this to be a documentary. This is how I'm gonna be looking, type of thing, challenge over there. So she got to get into Ocean Springs in the school, and I'm in the comment section, and I'm getting scared looking at the comments, and I'm in everybody's inbox at this point going, okay, give me more. What happened?
Right.
What's going on at this school? What are you talking about? How many people has unalived themselves, and who has sacrificed the body?
So she attends school there?
Yes, and she attends a school that Nolan goes to, and they said you wouldn't believe the elites. And the one boy told me, he said, the one white boy told me, he said, I hope you're thirsty because I got so much tea to spill. He said my family was part of the elites, and he said that he said it is beautiful here. He said, but it's a dark side, and I want to talk. And I was like, yeah, let me know. So I shot him my number and stuff, and he told me he'll be in contact soon. So I'm on TikTok right now in behind the scenes. Like, can you come and talk to me? And it's so many black girls speaking out, and I want to talk to them to see what
That's
was
gonna be
going on, to
very
see who knew them, and you know, Wyatt and them, and a lot of people are saying stuff. So I
That's
definitely
gonna
want
be
to.
Yeah, that's gonna be some good content. I would love to hear from the students. I would love to hear from the residents of that city. I would love to hear about all of that. Like my notifications for your channel has always been on, baby. I'm gonna be checking, okay?
I'm gonna shoot it to you, PayDae. I'm gonna actually shoot you the link on Instagram in just a second. I'm gonna shoot it to you so you can go see what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and it's a lot. It's a lot. And you're gonna be like, what in the like, you know, it's gonna make you want to say, let me reach out to what you mean it
I would
sacrifices
do a
and
reaction video off of your stuff. So you know what I'm saying? You already
yeah.
in the
But I just want you to go see for yourself. I just want you to see what I'm seeing to make sure I ain't tripping off the thing. I'm under the comments going, who sacrificed who? Like,
Yeah,
what?
what's going on for real? Yes. And then, you
How
know,
many
we got to
deaths?
remember that this 4th of July was the 250th anniversary for the United
Yeah.
States. That's a lot of energy to try to harness, okay? So this is when they act. This is when they move. Like, these are the type of times that they move. These are the type of times that's significant to them. Yeah. It's not by
Yeah.
chance that this happened to Nolan on the 250th anniversary of the United States.
Absolutely. It's almost like they were saying that they sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to send you the link and let you look at it. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. But I'm on my way. Let me go on TikTok and try to, you know, get back into
Okay,
some
send
stuff
it to
and
me.
check out some stuff. But salute to y'all, PayDae, and thank you for covering this.
Send it to me. I'm definitely gonna look at it, and I'll be over there at 1:30. Thank you for hitting
All
the
right.
link.
I'll wait.
All right, y'all. So I found the video that I was looking for, and we're gonna listen to them tell us. Okay.
You go all around the world and smash up everything that other. I mean, imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized. And then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable? I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people. And you're still the way you are. I mean, a good example actually is African Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman, not allowed to.
Now, the one mistake he did make was referring to it as their country. It's not. It's not. They stole it. Okay? But let's go.
To learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But you see, they come from a people of accomplishment to one degree or another. Not a people of piracy and theft and appropriation. They come from a people who created and built and developed in their own countries, in their own land.
I've never told this story in a video. I've mentioned it on podcasts before, but I've never made a video and told the story. My mother, seen here, was 16 years old when I was born. My dad was 21. They'd been together since she was 14. So she was 14. He was 19 when they got together. You guys have heard me talk about my dad before. He was very racist. My mother will tell you the same. And my mother, being very young and uneducated, she just kind of went along with whatever my dad did. And he was also abusive. My mother was abused. And I talked to her before I made this video to make sure that she's okay with me telling that part of her story. My dad was a domestic abuser and also a child abuser. He abused me as well. That's not the point of this video, though. When I was 3 years old, my mother was 19. She found the courage to leave my dad, which wasn't easy to do. And the divorce was nasty because my dad he's passed away now, a pretty controlling, narcissistic type guy. And shortly after leaving my dad, my mother was in a relationship with another man who was a black man. And my dad being the racist. See, I was raised in the 80s in North Carolina, and my dad was a racist. So her leaving him for a black man was like this big taboo thing. Like, you don't do that. And so when everything went to court, my dad ultimately got custody of me because the judge in the 80s in North Carolina is not giving the child to the woman dating a black man, to the white woman dating a black man, especially when my dad was the one with the career and the income and the money, and my mom had nothing. He had left her with nothing. Fast forward to when I was 10 years old. During those 7 years after the divorce, my dad taught me to hate my mom. He taught me that she was a sinner, that the Bible did not approve of interracial marriages. He showed me in the Bible where the Bible says you can't marry outside your race. And I believed her to be basically of the devil himself. I hated her. When I was 10 years old, I found out that my dad was being taken to court because my mother was trying to get visitation rights. I was terrified. I didn't want to meet this evil woman. She won. She got visitation rights of me. I'll never forget, ever to this day. I can still vividly remember where I was, the weather.
It's the fact that they instill this type of behavior in their kids. And then these same kids have to be in classrooms with our kids, have to be in friend groups with our kids, being brought up and being taught like this.
Everything, when she picked me up the first time, I was terrified. But I made it my mission, that first visit, that she would never visit me again. I made that my mission. that she would never want to see me after this day. I called her a sinner. I called her children, because she had 3 children with her second husband. Obviously, they were biracial children. And I called her children the N-word. I called her an N-word lover. Now, keep in mind, I'm 10 years old, but this is how I was raised. This is what I believed at age 10. And she told me, you shouldn't think like this or talk like this, and I ignored her. It was like a 2-hour visitation, whatever it was, and then she dropped me back off at my house. I told my dad, she'll never pick me up again, Dad, I promise you. 2 weeks later, when it was time for her next visitation, I waited in my yard on the Saturday at the time that I was supposed to be there, and I was sure she wouldn't pull up, but she did. She did pull up. I was befuddled. Oh my God, she came back. This time, she took me to her house in a mostly Black neighborhood, and a place I had never been. I was raised on the mountain, all white neighborhood, very much racist. And I was told that Black neighborhoods were crime-ridden, filthy areas. Avoid them. So I went to this Black neighborhood, and I thought, oh my God. I went in her house, and she said, I want you to meet your brothers and sisters. And they came out, and they were so excited to see me because my mom had never told them a bad thing about me. And I wanted to be mean to them because that's how I was raised. But I couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to be mean to them because they were so nice and polite to me. I was not nice to them. I tolerated them in my mind, but I wasn't mean to them. And then every 2 weeks she came and got me. And over the course of time, I built a relationship with my siblings, with her. And I started questioning things like maybe the things my dad told me are not true, because what I see in this neighborhood, what I see in my mom's house, what I see everywhere is not what I was told. And I had a choice to make at the early age of about 11. Do I believe what I was raised, or do I challenge these ideas? And just like my mom had got away from my dad and challenged those ideas and grew and was better, I decided that I too can be better. I started challenging the ideas my dad raised me in. It started a very tumultuous relationship with my dad, as if it wasn't tumultuous to begin with. Again, I was an abused child. I'm trying to keep this video short, so I'm missing a lot of very deep details, but I'm trying to give you the idea. By the time I was 15, I had read books and read the speeches of Dr. King and watched interviews with Malcolm X. And I really started realizing, like, there's a whole nother world out there that I didn't realize. Fred Hampton, Angela Davis, these things really opened my eyes. And I even basically got into a fight with my dad over it when I was 15 and was thrown out of my house. But my deconstruction process had begun, and it has continued for the past, 27 years. I'm 42 now. And it's all thanks to my mom, just being a mom, just showing up. And I've never had like the closest relationship with my mom because the story I just told you, but I've been friends with her now for, how old is that? 25 years. And I just want to say thanks for showing up. Thanks for not giving up on me. I may have never challenged my ideas and beliefs and may have been stuck in the same trap that, I was born into, and I wasn't. So thanks, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Hello everyone, welcome back on my channel. Today we're going to look at multiple videos of people who had bad.
Okay, her accent was very hard to understand whenever I did watch it the first time. But I do have this other video where I guess the people that found Nolan came out telling the condition of his body. And I haven't watched that one yet. So we're going to watch that one real quick just to see if some of it lines up with what we just found out about the autopsy. Okay. Now, all of a sudden,
with hundreds of job skills, you can
drop all this information out. All of a sudden, now we're starting to get more and more details. Now, before this autopsy, we wouldn't hear nothing. Okay. They wasn't giving us shit. It was a whole bunch of speculation. So I guess now we're about to start finding out or getting some clues, because I think, well, I don't know. That autopsy was very, very incomplete because they didn't even have all the body parts that they needed. The throat is insane. I can understand the other organs, but and I'm wondering, like, okay, so is anybody gonna press them about releasing their autopsy results? Like, when are they gonna press them about that? Like, we got the second one before we got the first one. Like, okay, it's time for y'all to go ahead and tell us what the hell y'all found out, especially since y'all got everything. Y'all got the throat, y'all know the stomach contents, y'all know everything. But of course, I'm sure y'all gonna lie. So then there's that. Okay, I'm looking for the video, y'all. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I was on the wrong thing. I'm where I need to be now. I definitely think that Miss Parker's live exposing the medical examiner is gonna be important as well. I don't know if y'all heard though, the girl Katie, she has spoke personally with Nolan Wells' mom. So at first we were getting statements from her parents, you know what I'm saying, and other people. But she did finally have a conversation with Miss Christine. So all right, let's see. Now this is a video that TMZ posted. We're gonna see if it gives us any valuable information. Hold on, let me put it on the screen for y'all. You think so, Asia T? You think she guilty of something? I don't know.
Body was eventually located and found. You were involved when the body was eventually located and found. What can you tell me about the state and position that the body was in that hasn't been reported? Hey everybody, it's Jackson Buhai here with In the Know. I'm joined today by Brian Trasher. He is the VP of the United Cajun Navy and participated in the search for Nolan Wells. He's here to give us his version of events today. Brian, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today.
Before this interview started, you started to get into the sequence of events surrounding, from when Nolan Wells was first reported missing to you getting in your plane. Can you walk us through what your story is?
Yeah, sure. So it was kind of late in the evening on 4 July when we first got a call. I think the first dispatch came in through one of our channels, through either a family member or family friend of Nolan's, who ultimately put our incident commander in touch with his mother, who at that point was in full-on search mode. She at that point was very concerned that he was actually missing and was doing everything. They were doing everything they could to kind of retrace the steps, get his phone, get his keys, all that. So really, it was the next morning when we were told that there was going to be another boat going out, possibly containing some of Nolan's family. I'm not sure what the details were of that. In the morning on 5 July, that would have been Sunday. And by late morning, we had gotten basically another call saying, hey, if you guys have any boats in the area and can go out there and canvass the island, would appreciate it. So I had two of my volunteers from the Mississippi chapter from Ocean Springs, actually, that put in like say midday on 5 July. They went out to Horn Island. They went on the island first, took a drone, looked around all over from an aerial view, and then they ran a grid between Horn Island and Ship Island with the boat. Both of these volunteers, one's a rescue specialist, one's actually a member of law enforcement, so they have a lot of experience. And they stayed at it for a few hours, and then weather started to deteriorate, so they came back in. That's when we knew we were done for the day on 5 July. We made the decision that on 6 July, that if the weather permitted, we were going to put an aircraft up because we were getting further and further away from the last time Nolan was seen alive. So that's when we put that aircraft up. We were wheels up out of Gulfport International at about 06:30 on 6 July.
Right. And so, when you first get the call, how did the United Cajun Navy get looped in? Was it through Christine Monsley's social post, or was it after? Was it, through your own accord?
Yeah, so the way that happened is my understanding is that when people started posting on social media about Nolan being missing, that a lot of people started tagging the United Cajun Navy, basically just kind of making us aware that this was going on, and then ultimately kind of sequencing to asking us for help. Like I said, there was an official message. I don't know if it came through our voicemail or through one of our email or one of our social media messaging platforms, but somebody made contact with, and our incident commander, I think, was either monitoring the messages or one of our people monitoring told him about the message that came through. Whoever that person was, it wasn't Nolan's mother, but whoever it was knew her and knew how to get in touch with her, and ultimately put our incident commander in touch with Christine that night on 4th July.
I have a question for you. Given the call to the Coast Guard at 11 p.m. and then the request for help the following day from JCSO at around noon, did you feel like you were starting the search a little bit later than you should be?
There wasn't really, there wasn't anything that we could have done on the night of July 4th, to be honest. But also, too, at that point, I still didn't know. I'll put it this way. On July 4th, when I went to sleep, I didn't know if they had finally gotten in contact with Nolan, if he had come home, if they had found out any new information. It wasn't until the morning of July 5th when I learned that he was still missing overnight. And that's when I became very concerned that, okay, he didn't come home all night. That's a bad sign. And so it was that point when they started calling for all hands and said, okay, we'll put a boat in the water. And then that led to the activities of our search crews on 5 July.
Can you talk to me about the water conditions? What did the water conditions look like that night from where you were?
You're talking about the day he went missing or the day we started searching?
The day you started searching.
They were pretty similar to, for most part of the day, they were pretty similar to the conditions on the 4th of July. They were fairly calm. It was strong currents, but not really big waves, not a lot of wind.
Okay, look like he's not about to give us much information, honestly. Tell me the condition of his goddamn body. The hell is going on?
And it was very hot water temperature.
I don't want to hear about the water if we don't even know it's around. We ain't even got the goddamn lungs.
What can you tell me about the state and position that the body was in that hasn't been reported?
Yeah.
This woman in Kansas City searched her name and found $6.1 million in unclaimed money.
Again, just to put it into perspective, it was, I'm told it was about 08:45 on 6 July when a park ranger on Horn Island discovered the body, called it in to law enforcement. We had myself and the gentleman who donated his plane that day out of Gulfport. We had been flying for about 2 hours at that point. We were making a track going from Horn Island over to Ship Island down to Chandelier Island, which is south of both of those islands, about another 30 miles. So we were coming back up north towards the northwest tip of Horn Island when we noticed there were boats in the center.
Bro, he didn't even ask you none of this. You giving us all these pointless ass details. We don't want to know what direction your ass was going in. When you found him, what did he look like?
Center of the island where there's a lagoon, and then we saw some boats approaching the northwest tip, and then we descended, and that's when I saw a law enforcement presence gathering on that northwest point, and then I noticed that there was what appeared to be a body right at the shoreline, laying face down on the sand.
The implication is that this body had washed up, unfortunately, on the shore.
That's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
Did you see any visible injuries or anything that you can speak to at that distance?
No. From that height, right? So it's best I can do. The description matched Nolan Wells. It matched the area. It was the area where we were looking. So I had good reason to believe, even before I heard from the sheriff's office, that it.
Okay, so he don't know nothing. All right. Let's go ahead and take him down. Cause baby, you knew absolutely nothing, baby. We good on you. Let's get right on over here to Warren. Let's get right on over here to Warren. Let's hear what Warren have to say. Okay, y'all, here we go. This is Warren, Nolan Wills' white friend that came out and did an interview the day before the autopsy results were supposed to be released. I kind of think that's weird in itself. Like, we've been waiting to hear from white people this whole entire time. Then all of a sudden we get a whole interview from one of the friends the day before the autopsy comes out. Like, wait. Like, y'all played. Y'all playing. Y'all played. Y'all played. I swear y'all did.
So, Warren, I'm going to ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out. The first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan? All right, Warren, we had a chance to get to know each other over the last, 2 days. Went out to Horn Island. So I've had an opportunity to talk to you about a few things. And the things that you've told me have literally blown my mind. But the world haven't had a chance yet to hear your story, to hear Nolan's story through you, through his friend. And it's not just you, it's a bunch of y'all. But, you know, some of the other guys were afraid because of the threats and the violence that's been threatened against their lives and all of the above. But you decided that you wanted to take this bold step and give a statement and, you know, get your side out here. And I want to start at the very beginning of all of this and ask you, what was your relationship like with Nolan? Who was he to you?
Nolan, I could describe Nolan in a million ways. I mean, Nolan was not just a best friend of me, but he was a brother. I grew up through elementary, middle school, high school, and even our freshman year of college. You know, we talked on the phone all the time. We were really close friends. And I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. And Nolan lit up every room he walked in. He always had a smile.
Why does he keep repeating he was like a brother to me? It's making me feel like you just trying to convince us that y'all was so super duper close. He was like a brother to me. No, he was not. No, he was not. You wasn't looking at this black boy as a brother. I'm sorry.
On his face, he always had something good to say. I've never seen Nolan get in an argument with somebody and say bad things about someone. You know, there's a lot of people that talk crap nowadays, and Nolan was never that person. Sweetest soul ever. And I mean, I had a great relationship with Nolan. I've never got in an argument with Nolan. We were super close, and I've never said or will ever have anything bad to say about Nolan Wells.
Yeah, and you guys, you said you kind of grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his mom, or how was that? Because I saw in the media where it appears that she may have said, at least I saw in part, that she said as if she didn't know any of you guys.
Right. Well, Nolan, a lot of the times was at like my house and at my buddy's house. We never went to Nolan's house and hung out. I mean, and my friend group's very, very tight knit. I mean, we hang out every day when we're back home from school. In high school, we hung out most weekdays and every day on the weekend. And I mean, we were never at Nolan's house, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but
everyone keeps asking me how I do my podcast alone.
I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I like got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies, and Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close. But his dad would swing by Waffle House, you know, and like, you know, hang out.
He making me uncomfortable. Keep trying to convince us of how close they were. You know what I'm saying? When you're close to somebody, it just shows. You don't have to keep telling us. Like, what the hell? from K5 until college. I'm just gonna see you know it wasn't cool with your ass. Okay, Cookie Monster, best friend or brother, and never been to his house. Crazy work. That's all I'm saying. He lying like a motherfucker. Okay. I never called my friends by their whole name. I'm just saying, like for real. Every time he said, he say Nolan Wills. Oh Lord.
Out around us, but never I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, anyone else. So.
And walk me through the day of 4th of July where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? This is a two-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together, that you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. Being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year, and he was, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, on the water, And Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always.
Not he was always welcome to come, as if that was a question. But that's the problem. You said it was hundreds of people on Horn Island, and nobody knows anything. Like, that's not hard to understand. Like, it was hundreds of y'all on Horn Island, and nobody knows nothing. Make that make sense.
Was out there with us, and but started 4th of July. My buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming. Everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like, it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and
he keep repeating himself. Okay, but now he didn't introduce Wyatt. Okay, him and his buddy Wyatt.
With my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach, and I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that.
Does it seem like to anybody else that he's trying to remember the details that he's been told to say? It's like he's running the details over in his head from what he was supposed to say. Like, you got to go on here, you got to answer this, you got to say this, you got to say this. It's almost like he's going through his mind to search and make sure he's saying the right details.
That's where we all plan to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, because the statements that are out there made it appear that it was just.
They all got there and they all left at the same time. They all got there and they all left at the same time. So everybody but Nolan.
You, Nolan, and probably 2 or 3 other guys, and y'all are the only ones that went out to this island.
And that's completely incorrect. I mean, Horn Island on the 4th of July is the most popular day to be on the water on, you know, throughout the entire Gulf Coast. I mean, everybody and their mom is on the water on 4th of July, you know. There's no telling. I mean, roughly probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4,000 people out there. There were boats lined up off the island. I mean, there was 3 rows of boats all the way until my vision ended, until I could see of people from, I mean, there was 1 row of boats, and then there was another row of boats, and then there was a 3rd row of boats.
Yeah.
I mean, there was people lined up all up and down the island to where, I mean, who knows? I mean, and that wasn't just, we were parked on the north side, on the west tip. It wasn't just there. I mean, there's tons of people packed out on the south side and on the east end and in the middle of the island. But just where we were, I mean, there was easily 1,000 people. It wasn't just us.
Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to you guys at the dock, getting on the boat. You're saying that's multiple people, probably 20 or 30 people getting on 3 boats.
Right.
What boat were you on, and what boat was Nolan on?
Nolan was on Wyatt's 22 Triton. On the way out, I went with my buddy Bart because.
So Wyatt, he ends up on Wyatt's boat. Now, you woke up with Wyatt, and you and Wyatt went to McDonald's and everything. You had your boat hooked up, and then you end up on Barton's boat, not Wyatt's boat. Okay.
We had a lot of friends from college coming down, and Bart, I called Bart that morning. I was like, "Hey man, can you take your boat out?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, my dad's decided not to go, and I'll take the boat, and I'll take you and your friends." Of course, I mean, he's a buddy of mine. And so Bart pulled up at the dock, and I mean, I rode out there with Bart and a lot of the girls that go to college with my friends and I, and
so they gave us the interview of a person that was not on the boat with Nolan. Okay. Okay. That's strange. And you had to call somebody else to bring a boat out so that you could have a ride, as opposed to riding on Wyatt's boat. Okay. I'm just trying to keep track of the details.
And Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. There was like 8 people on the Triton, and then there was 8 or 9 people on the Triton, and then there was the rest of the group, which was ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line, which is 24 tide line.
And so you guys get on, and I know a little bit more than the audience do because we went out there a little earlier because I wanted to see exactly what the drive was like, what the dock was like, how far it is out there.
Of course.
But I want you to tell, the audience, like, what was this trip like? How was the waters? Did you guys do anything in between the time you rode and the time you get to the island? Was there music?
He's also, in my opinion, distancing himself from whatever happened. You know what I mean? Like, this creates distance for him.
Is
Yeah.
it like a big party? Like
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously music's blasting. It's 4th of July, man. I mean, you know how, I mean, everybody's really excited. And I mean, we had a lot of people loaded down. So obviously our biggest, you know, we're just trying to make sure everybody, you know, gets out there safe. And so, I mean, on the way out there, it was pretty calm. I think it was blowing like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day to be on the water. Sunshine, not cloudy at all. And I mean, it was a great day to be out there on 4th of July. And so, I mean, we followed each other out, and I mean, it was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little more rough, but it was not anything all my buddies' boats couldn't handle, or like, it wasn't like we were getting really beat up or anything. I mean, it was pretty calm.
And so you guys get out there. I'm assuming that you line the boats up, because I'm envisioning the picture of getting out there and there's hundreds of boats. Mm-hmm. There's thousands of people. Yeah. So it wasn't just you guys on a deserted island with
of course not
a few people. This is thousands of people out there.
Right.
And there's a lot of people doing what? What does it look like when you first pull up?
I pull up, and we pulled up at 10:30. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, early afternoon. I mean, it wasn't, but 10:30 is, you know, still pretty early in the day. And when we got there was already 3 rows of boats lined up all the way, like I said, until I could see. And
you're talking, when you say all you can see, you're speaking about miles.
Yeah.
Of boat. When we went out there earlier, or not earlier today, but when we went out there, the island is massive.
Correct.
I mean, it's just several miles long.
Roughly 10 to 12 miles. I mean, it's.
So you think that the boats were stretching from one end to the next, or a small area of about a mile or less than a mile of boats?
Well, I mean, I think there was boats all the way around the entire island, but I think some spots were more popular than others. Like the West Tip is usually very, very crowded on the 4th of July, and everybody knows that. So that's where a lot of people park, because they want to be around other people. And the East End's a little more, there's not as many people, but there's still a lot of boats out there. I mean, it's not like no one, I mean, every area of Horn Island was covered 100%.
Wow. So you get out there, y'all jump out. What do? You know, when I say jump out, you obviously not just sitting on the boat. The island is there. Like, what exactly are people doing there? Like, are you spending more time in the water, on the island, in the boat? Like, how is that look out there?
I mean, everybody, as soon as you get there, I mean, there's people on boats, grabbing drinks and, you know, food, whatever else. Like, I mean, everybody is fully prepared for the 4th of July. They bring, you know, all the drinks and food that they need, because, I mean, they've been preparing for 4th for a little while now. But when we got there, I helped my buddies tie the boats up, because the tie line was right here, the Palm Beach was in the middle, and then the Triton was on the outer side. And there was about a drop off from where the bow was. I mean, if you jumped off the bow, you were probably about neck deep in water. But if you got off the stern, you were probably waist deep in water. I mean, but when we got there, we tied up, got, you know, bow and rear anchor set, and we tied up all the boats, made sure they were good, and everyone just got on the water. And then eventually, next thing you know, it's our group. And then, you know, next thing you know, there's 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, you know, I mean, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, you know, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, you know, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah. So y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students out on the island, women, you know, you probably had alcohol. So y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, you know, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, you know, everybody my age, and even people older than us were, you know, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. You know, we're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, you know, every weekend. Like, I fish the islands. I don't just, you know, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands, and I feel like it was just a big. I talked to Nolan, and Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody, and I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan, and I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I talked to Nolan a couple times, but it wasn't like I was strictly sitting there talking to Nolan the whole day. I mean, there was hundreds of people I knew out there. So,
yeah. And Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So.
And then you guys get ready.
Did he ever answer the question? Am I tripping? Did he ever answer the question? Thickalicious, it's on Amazon. You can order it through Amazon, baby. The title of it is The Black Man Can, and it's by PayDae. But he did not answer the question. Like, maybe I'm tripping. Let me see.
Off my chest or talk. I said, like, just so.
And Nolan said something interesting. You told me about this. Something he said to you, I would say would be indicative of y'all's friendship.
Right.
And then he also mentioned something to you about that particular day and what it meant to him.
Right.
And could you share that?
Right. Yeah. So Nolan and my buddy Javon are talking, and I grew up with Nolan, and Nolan's just like I said, like just so joyful, like always happy. Like every picture I have with Nolan or picture I have of Nolan, he's smiling. I mean, like he's always happy. If I always need like a shed of light, I'm calling Nolan, and Nolan and I laugh and joke a lot. Like that's how our friend group is. We're really jokingly laugh. No one takes anything that serious. We enjoy our time together. I mean, there's never any awkwardness within our friend group. We're very, very tight. So if I ever need to get something off my chest or talk to anybody, I'm talking to all my friends. I'm not just talking to like specifically anybody. I would go out, like even if I'm having issues with something, I go talk to my group chat, and my guys are there to, give me a hand anytime I need it. And all my guys are, all my buddies are the same exact way. Nolan was the same exact way. If you ever need something, I'm here, man. Like that's how he was. So.
And then you guys get ready to.
So he didn't answer the question. What the hell? He did not answer the question at all.
Leave prematurely.
Right.
And like what? Explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30.
Right.
People are still out there partying, and
Correct.
they're having a good time. But something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So.
Man, we know about the Blige pump. Like, you gonna tell us about the goddamn Blige pump? How the hell is he supposed to be telling us about the Blige pump if he wasn't even on that goddamn boat? He was on Borton's goddamn boat. He wasn't on the boat with Wyatt and them. Wyatt and them boat had a problem, not Borton's boat. Like, what? it's the coonery for me. Because you sat there and really let him not answer that question. After you said, could you repeat what you told me? What I already know. He just said all his friends are good friends, basically. And Nolan is too. Like, what the hell? What? I mean, I'm assuming, like, I don't see the purpose of it either, Candy Crush, because we got absolutely no information. But he set it up when it ended as if there's gonna be another part to it. But if the next part is anything like this part, I don't want to hear it because he told us absolutely nothing besides he wasn't on the boat with Nolan. That's it. That's all we got out of him. That he wasn't on the boat. Like, what was the point in that? It told us absolutely nothing. They really didn't give me a headache. It's 10:51 a.m. and they didn't give me a headache. Between being Crump, reading the autopsy findings, the cover from the first autopsy, to the racist shit, to this goddamn interview. They didn't give me a goddamn headache. Exactly, Northside. They wasn't on the same boat, so who cares what he said? Shaking my head. On top of that, so Barton's boat had issues too? Because he about to come and tell us about a problem that was on another boat that he wasn't riding on. And why are y'all repeating the same thing? Why are you even asking him about the motherfucking Blige pump when we already know? We already didn't talk to the people who told it in. We got the voice recording of them calling and saying everybody was on the boat and everything was fine. We got the timestamp for that. We got the timestamp for the last time that his friends actually spoke to Nolan. Okay, we heard from Katie, who claims she knows absolutely nothing. We got a missing throat. We got abrasions on the back of the head and brain. Hey, Big Sticks. And now we got Warren as sitting here telling us absolutely nothing. And now in the next part, he's supposed to explain to us about the Blige pump. We already know about that shit. And he wasn't even on the goddamn boat. So did he switch boats? So did he take Nolan's spot on Wyatt's boat? So because that's gonna be the only thing that makes sense as to why we would even be talking to him. Is if instead he says that, oh, well, Nolan didn't ride back with us, and I actually got on Wyatt's boat. And we had an issue with the Blige pump. What? It's still not gonna make sense. Like, I have never heard of a throat being missing for autopsy. Even if you had to further investigate the throat, you investigate it and you send it off. So that second examiner will be able to see what condition the throat was in. They most definitely covered up in that first autopsy. See, everything that they found was wrong with Nolan's body, they removed. Everything that second autopsy could have told us about what happened, they took. They didn't send it. They gave us half information. We damn near can't even rely on the second autopsy because they didn't even have all the goddamn body parts. But they still told us more than the first autopsy, which we know nothing. But y'all have time to be setting up interviews right before the second autopsy is exposed. This is a lot. This is a lot. It really is. This is crazy. I can't believe that interview ended the way it did. I can't believe he told us absolutely nothing. I cannot believe that he didn't even answer the fucking question. And he was not called out about it. You went on to the next question as if he gave you an answer. And he gave you no answer. As the person doing the interview, I would have re-asked that question because, baby, you didn't give me an answer. So hold on. So what? Nah, he just went to the next question as if he told us anything or as if he even answered the question. He didn't even answer the question. He told us all his friends was good, including Nolan. Well, we don't believe you. We don't believe that all your friends are good people, being that we haven't talked to them, being that they deleted their social media, being that they've been trying to keep everything that happened with Nolan under wraps. If it wasn't suspicious or if nothing happened, I'm just saying, if it's my friend group and I know for a fact me or none of my friends had anything to do with what happened to my friend, I'll be screaming the story beginning to end as many times as y'all need me to tell it. Because why wouldn't I? What reason would I have to be holding on to the story? What reason would I have to delete my social media? I don't care if the world thinks it's funny or suspicious or whatever, because the truth don't change. So I know if I told the truth and I have nothing to hide, then I don't care what everybody else thinks, because that's the truth. It's a lot of covering and a lot of other extra ass bullshit hyping up nothing. Hey, Flip Mode. What's up, boo? This is insane. That interview just pissed me the fuck off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm about to get the hell up off here. Okay? Y'all make sure y'all pull up to Miss Parker's live at 1:30. I'm gonna share it on my community wall. She will be talking about everything that happened with the medical examiner and all of the autopsies that the medical examiner has been doing on other Black people. And we're talking about the medical examiner that did the first autopsy that we don't have the results to. So y'all make sure y'all pull up at 1:30. This is a lot. Y'all know I'm going to keep y'all updated on whatever information that I get. I'll see y'all later because this is crazy.